Welcome, everybody, back for some Grand Forks Squirt hockey here. For some reason, I'm getting some echo, but hopefully that gets fixed up. Either way, final game here for both these teams. The Grand Forks Aviator Squirt B1 Blue will be taking on the Grand Forks 10UA Girls in the final game of the season here at Rydell Rink. Be turning in their jerseys after this one. That'll be the conclusion of the season. We'll have a little family get-together thing in about a week, I think. We'll probably, if that's a parents versus kids game, we'll probably televise that as well. But this will be their final game of the season. So Aviators looking to finish out the season on a winning note if they can. But we'll see what happens here. We're a little behind due to some district play-in games that happened earlier today. I believe maybe went into overtime. Got us almost a good hour behind, but almost an hour, but not too terrible. As you see the boys coming out wearing their white jerseys. They'll be the home team. The girls will be wearing their dark jerseys as the away team when they come out here very soon. Haven't quite come out yet, but should be very, very soon. I think they played once before earlier this year. I wasn't able to televise that one. I think it was a victory for the boys. I can't quite remember the score. It was like a 5-3 or something like that as the girls down here to our right are getting ready to come out. There they are. We'll pan down to them. As you see the girls coming out wearing the dark blue jersey. Same jerseys as the boys, just the away jerseys. I know some associations have different jerseys for the girls program versus the boys program. But we got about 5 minutes here for warm-ups, and we'll get this one underway. Shouldn't take too long. Both teams are out on the ice. Clock is yet to start, but getting real close. So I'm going to take a quick little break, talk to a couple people here, and we'll be back as warm-ups start to wind down, and we'll get this one underway here very soon. All right, about a minute left of warm-ups here, and then we'll get pucks picked up. Each team will gather around their goaltenders or their benches and get a last little pep talk taken care of, and then we'll get the starters out to the face-off dot and get this game underway. Just a end of the year jamboree type style weekend here, as the Aviators just took on Fargo and then now the Grand Forks girls team. So just a fun last couple of games for them to play before we call it a season. A lot of teams for Grand Forks wrapping up their seasons here this weekend. Some playing in some playing games. If they lost those games, their season came to an end after that game. If they won, they'll be moving on to the state tournaments. A few Aviator teams having automatic bids into the state tournaments, so they'll be headed off for those tournaments, I believe, starting next weekend for most of them. You see the Aviators gathering around their goaltender down here in the left-hand corner. Girls gathered around their net and their goaltender as well. They play 3-minute periods, no Zamboni in between periods, just straight 3 periods, and we'll get it, see who we have for a victor at the end of those 3 periods. Fun game this morning for those people that got up and watched it, but the U.S. able to pull off a victory against Canada in the Olympics, winning the gold medal for their first time in 46 years, their 3rd one overall. Kind of a neat story for all the Sioux fans that are fans of Brock Nelson. He is now the 4th member to win a gold medal in hockey. At least in the men's side of it. Probably has a cousin on the girls' side as well, but all 3 gold medal teams for the U.S. had a relative of Brock Nelson on it, so pretty cool. We'll get to game action here as the game has gotten started. This one picked up by Macklin over along the wall on the far side, sends it up the walls. The girls are able to keep that one down in the high slot. Shot sent on, glove there by Sam, and we're going to face off down in the boys' end here. We'll zoom in a little bit. Macklin to take the face off for the boys. One back by the girls to the point. Turns, fires this one towards the net. Picked up by Caleb Jacoby. He'll skate this one up the near side boards, trying to get through the defense. Gets rubbed off along the wall here a little bit. Girls take it back, but stolen away by Barron. He'll bring this one into the zone. Knocked off of his stick. Stays with it, though. Barron down into the corner. Looks like Barron's out there with Macklin and Tucker. Tucker with it now along the boards. Got knocked off of his stick. Carter turns, dumps it down in the corner, gets it to Barron. Barron fires one towards the net, ends up going behind. Macklin will grab it along the near side, turns and fires one, but stopped by the girls' defense, and they'll skate this one forward. They get it out into the neutral zone with some speed down the near side. Jacoby takes a whack at it. Puck loose, shot sent on there. Sam makes the save. Caleb gets it behind the net. He'll skate this one forward, sends it through the middle, gets it over to Macklin. Macklin down the right side, brings it into the zone. Stays on side, trying to get this one towards the net. Goes off the side of the cage. Pushed over to the near side. Girls will get on this one first. Skates this one up and out of the zone, out into the neutral zone, where it'll be picked up by Chase Stadstad. Sent through the middle. Gets it to Grady. Stolen away from him as girls are getting a change. Able to get there just in time to steal that one away. They work it down into the corner where it's taken away by Teeny. Teeny goes behind her own net, works up the far side, hands it off to Grady. Grady chips this one up to the blue line, but not out. Girls are able to keep that one in. Stadstad with it, sends it through the middle, all the way down to the girls' blue line. They pick it up, they'll bring it right back down the near side. Into the zone, backhanded towards the net, stopped there by Chase. He sends one off the wall. The girls will get on this one first. Evans going to put some pressure on, block that pass from coming out front. Now it comes out to the point, shots in on through traffic, knocked down. Puck loose, Sam gets it covered up. And we're going to face off down here in the boys' end. Now it's 4 shots for the girls, none for the boys. Girls controlling the play here so far in this first period. Almost 2.5 minutes played. It'll be Porter to take the face off. And that one back. Girls take a shot through traffic. Goes off of Porter's stick. Picked up by Grady. He puts a check on. He'll take the penalty. Girls will go on the power play here. 5-on-4 for the next minute 30. We're face off down in the boys' end. As Grady will head to the box here for the next minute and a half. So it looks like it'll be Albert and Soren out there as the forwards. It'll be Caleb and Carter on defense. Albert to take the face off. Face off one back by the girl. Shot right off the draw there. Didn't quite get through the defense. Girls do a nice job to steal this one back. Turns, fires one. Stopped by Carter. Carter's going to dump this one down. Went off of a girl's stick, so no ice. And it doesn't look like it's going to make it anyways. Girls would have got there in time. Girls with control in their own end. About a minute left on the power play. Albert trying to steal this one back. A little hooked up there. No call, though. Right down the middle. Cuts it to the outside. Gets a shot off. Sam makes a save. Rebound just jumped over the stick of the attacking girls forward. Otherwise had a wide open net to shoot at as Albert has it behind his own net. Sends it up the sidewall. Gets it to Soren. Soren met by the defender. Shots in on. Gets blocked by Albert. Girls get it back. Trying to get through the defense, but Albert picks it up. Cuts through a couple different girls defenders. Now through the neutral zone. Brings it down into their end, but gets swallowed up right away. And Soren will get control and has to regroup back out in the neutral zone. Picked up by Carter. Dumps this one down in. Goes behind the net. Boys go for a change. Girls will get on this first in their own zone. They send it up the wall, but a little bit off the mark. Comes out into the neutral zone right to Caleb Jacoby. He sends it up the wall, trying to get that to Tucker Norby. Tucker handed it off to Eli. Eli trying to get through the defense. Takes a shot. Gets partially blocked. Goes behind the net. Still no shot on net officially here for the boys. As the girls are able to clear the zone here. Picked up by Teeny. Teeny sends one through down into the near side corner. Picked up by the girls. They'll dump this one down. Looks like that'll go for icing. And we'll head back down to the girls' end for a face-off. 10 minutes, 39 seconds to go here. First period, 0-0 tie between the boys and the girls. Girls out shooting the boys 5-0 so far here. Almost 4.5 minutes into this first period. Macklin to take the face-off out there with Tucker and Barron. Face-off one back by the girls. They control down in the corner. They like to go behind their own net. Worker up the far side wall, comes out to the point. Teeny keeps that one in, sends it back down low. Girls elect to just fire this one up to the blue line. They'll get it out in the neutral zone. Barron will pick it up for the boys. Slips around one, check. Gets the next one knocked off of his stick. Girls trying to send that one to the middle, but it gets deflected, and Macklin pushes this one forward down the right side. Macklin trying to get control down in the corner. The girls trying to steal this back. Macklin tied up behind the net. Girls are able to get control. They'll work this one up the far side. Now out into the neutral zone with some speed. Down the left side, shots it on. Sam makes the save, covers that one up, and we're going to face off down in the boys' end here on the near side. 9 minutes, 47 seconds to go, first period. 6-0 lead in shots here for the girls' team. It'll be Porter out there with Evan and Grady. Then back to the point. Girls able to keep the zone for now. Battle for it along the boards. Looks like Grady will clear it out of the neutral zone. Gets it over to Porter. Porter down the right side. Cuts it to the middle. Girls able to steal that one back. They dump this one down. That'll go for icing. This team won't be able to get there in time. And we'll head back down to the girls' end for a face-off. Looks like both teams leaving out the players that they had out there. So Porter will take the face-off here for the boys. Carter and Caleb on defense. One back by the girls. They get control, go behind their own net. Send this one up the wall. Ring comes over to pick it up. Works this one through the middle. Carter is able to steal that one away. Gets up to Porter, but knocked off of his stick. A couple girls run into each other there. They're able to dump this one down into the boys' end. Carter sends one through the middle. Goes off a Porter stick and Evans' stick. Battle for it along the boards. Girls get control. Bring this one back towards the boys' blue line here. But an offsides call, and we're going to face off right down here in front of us, just outside of the boys' end. So 8 minutes, 52 seconds left to go here in the first period. Girls out shooting the boys 6-0. Porter take the face off for the boys. Tied up, push forward here, picked up the boys. Evan trying to get this one down into the girls' end. The girls are able to turn that right back out into center ice. Now with some speed down the left side. Puts on the brakes, backhands one out front. Sends it towards the net. Grady comes in to help out. No shot sent on net there. He feeds it up to Evan, but it goes off of Evan's stick and all the way down the ice. That'll be icing on the boys. We'll head back down to their end for a face-off as they'll send out a fresh line here. Looks like it'll be Albert, Eli, and Soren. Jason, Teeny on defense. Albert take the face-off here for the boys' team. Sent to the middle. Girls out to the point. Shots in on through traffic. Kicked it away there by Sam. Girls get on it right away. Jace trying to clear that one up the middle, but girls able to keep it in. Battle for it along the boards is picked up by Teeny. She sends it up the wall. Kept in once again by the girls. Albert gets this one out into neutral zone, but brought right back in. Eli able to steal that one away. Takes a look. Sends it up the wall. Gets it on the neutral zone. Girls send it right back in, but not very deep. As Teeny slides up to pick this one up. She'll work this one up the near side. Down into the girls' end. Girls will get on this one down in the corner. Sent off of Eli's stick. He'll chase after her on the near side. Girls will get there first, though. Escape this one right back down the near side. Nice job by Jace there to steal that one away. Turns it back. Brought in the zone by Albert. Dumps one towards the net. Goes off the inside of the goalie stick and into the back of the net. And the boys strike first, making this a 1-0 game with 7:26 to play in the first period. Kind of a bouncing puck coming in on the goaltender there. Been there myself. Or it's like you don't know what to do. Put the blocker down or put the stick out there. Unfortunately, it tipped off the inside of the stick. It looked like it was going to go wide, but hit the wrong side of the stick and ended up in the back of the net. And the boys strike first on their very first shot of the game. The girls have been outplaying the boys pretty much all period here as they work this one out into the neutral zone. Slip around Macklin. Push it forward. They'll bring it into the zone. Down the near side. Stolen away by Macklin and Caleb Jacoby, it looked like. They get it up to Barron here. He works around the defenseman down the near side. Brought into the zone. Lost the handle on it. Pushes that one up the wall just a little bit. Comes up to the point. Here's Caleb. Shots in on. Blocked there by the defenseman. Picked up by the girls. They feed this one out in the neutral zone. Now dump it down in as they'll go for a change. Picked up by Carter Henkschleben behind his own net. He'll skate this one forward. Cuts it through the middle with some speed. Try to dish it over here to Macklin a little bit in front of him. Girls will get control down in the corner. They go behind their own net. Send this one up the wall. Off the wall. Winger trying to feed this one to the middle, and she will. Gets this one out into center ice. A couple of players lost a stick there. As the girls bring it back. Shots in on. That one's blocked by Jace. Picked up by Macklin. Girls able to steal that one away, but they dump it back in a little bit off sides. And we're going to face off here on the near side, just outside the boys' end with about 6 minutes to play here in the first period. Boys leading this one 1-0. Being outshot 7-1. Push forward. Here's Porter trying to get through the defense. Nice job by the girls' defenseman there to use the body, leans on him a little bit, and pushes him off the puck. Stole that one right back. His team sends it up the wall, gets to Porter, but gets caught up in some skates. Girls are able to push this down into the boys' end, picked up by Jace. Goes behind his own net. Sends it up the wall. Gets it. Trying to get it to Evan. Girls are able to keep it in at the blue line. Grady comes over. He steals this one away. Sends it up the wall. Girls at the point again. Keep it in. Send it down low into the far side corner. Send up the wall. Girls able to keep it in once again. Send a shot towards the net, but stopped there by Jace. He'll skate this one forward. Works it through the middle. Gets it up to Grady. Grady brings it into the zone. Slips around one defenseman. Push forward in on net. Goaltender is able to get a glove on it. And we'll get a face-off down here in the girls' end. Just over 5 minutes to play. Looks like we're going to face off on the other side. Porter out there to take the face-off out there with Evan and Grady. Teeny and Jace on defense. Girls are ringing around behind the net over to the near side. Jump through the middle, stop by Grady at the blue line. He'll bring it right back in. Sets up, shoots, goes off a stick, up and over the net. Evan will try to chase this one down. He sends it up to the point, out to Jace. Jace fires. Goes wide, gets it down to Evan. Evan feeds one out front. Stuff attempt there. Loose puck. Goaltender gets a glove on it. The referee blew that one off right away. I think they knocked it out of her glove. And we'll get a face-off. So just a second shot here for the boys in this first period. They do have a 1-0 lead. Boys starting to get some zone time here. It was all girls in the first 2/3 of this period, but another shot attempt there. Doesn't make it to the net. Soren's going to give it a go. Backhand doesn't make it to the net. Girls send it up the wall. Up to the blue line, but not out. Picked up by Soren. Feeds it to the middle. Gets it over to Albert. Albert cuts through a couple different players. Gets over to Eli. Eli will chase this one down below the goal line. Then over to the far side. Soren knocks his puck away from one of the girls along the wall. Carter will take a shot, sends a bouncing puck, but kicked away by the defenseman. Girls will get on this one. They dump this one down. It won't go for icing as it caught up with some of that snow in front of the bench. Caleb has to turn back and go the other way here. Behind the net, take a look. Sends it through the middle, off of a stick, comes out in the neutral zone. Eli's going to try to chase it down. Girls dump it back down into the zone. Albert with it, comes off the wall. Trying to get through the defense, get hooked up there a little bit. Girls get control, but push it back down into their own end. They'll send this one up the wall, gets it out to the red line. Caleb sends it back in, but Albert was still off sides, and we're going to face off right here in front of us, just outside the girls' end. 3 minutes, 21 seconds to go first period. Boys leading the girls 1-0. A bit of a back and forth game here. It was all girls to start the game, but now it's starting to kind of go back and forth a little bit here. Macklin pushes that one over to Tucker. Tucker brings it into the zone, slips around one. Check. Shot on. Back of the net. Tucker Norby with a goal. Makes it 2-0. Shot that one on. Goaltender made the save, but I think the goaltender tipped it in on herself. But 2-0 lead here for the boys with 3:12 to go in the first period. Face off, one back to Jace. Tips that one forward. Gets it up to Barron. Girls steal it away at the point. They'll push this one forward. Teeny will come over to try to knock it away, but girls stay with it. They have opportunity here. Sent out front. Shot sent on. Sent just wide. Girls get control of it, though. Trying to send it out front. Goes off the skates. Stuff attempt there. Goes right into Sam's pads, and he'll cover this one up and gets a face-off down here in the boys' end. 2 minutes, 49 seconds to go. 2-0 lead here for the boys. That one's one back. Girls with control at the blue line. Just outside of the zone. Offsides called on the girls. Will get a face-off just outside the boys' end here. Looks like Macklin will take the face-off for the boys. Dump down into the boys' end, but right back out here. Macklin gets it out into center ice. Now Chipson goes around the defense. Girls close on him quick, though. They'll get this one right back out into the neutral zone. Brought in, trying to get it around Teeny. Nice job of defending there. Battle for it in the corner. She sends it up the wall. Battling against two of the girls. They'll slip away here, and they work it down below the goal line. Knocked off one of their sticks, but still fighting for it in the corner here. It's kind of pinballing around a little bit. Girls get control. They fire one towards the net. Sam makes the save. Another shot sent on. Another big rebound kicked out here. Macklin will send this one up the glass and out of the zone all the way down. Here's a race for it. Barron trying to get there first. Girls will get there just before him. Go behind the net. Goes off of one of their own players' skates, but they'll retain control here as they come out of the zone. Tucker trying to get back to steal it away, but big check there by Carter Hengschlaven goes uncalled. Grady sends it up the wall. Girls return it back in though. Caleb Jacoby will pick it up. He skates it over to the near side, trying to get around the defense here. Cuts it back towards the middle. Now over the red line, down into the zone. Try to get through a few different girls there. Shots it on by Porter, goes up and over the goalie's pad, hits the post. Porter gets his own rebound, sends it out front, trying to get it to Grady. Grady sets up, shots it on, goes wide. Over into the near side. Evan and Porter coming over to try to steal that off. Comes out to Caleb, shots it on, bouncing puck, goes well wide to the far side. Picked up by Grady along the wall. He sends one over to the near side, trying to give it back to Caleb, but it clears the zone. The boys will have to regroup at center ice. Turn right back by Caleb, though, with some speed. Knocked off of his stick. He'll stay with it, though, down into the corner. Girls get control behind their own net. They chip this one up the wall, kept in by Evan. Girls able to finally get it out in the neutral zone, though. Carter turns it back in, but off sides. We'll get a face-off here right in front of the girls' bench with 26 seconds remaining in the first period. They lead 2-0. Porter to take the face-off out there with Grady and Evan. Carter and Caleb on defense. Pushed forward here by the girls. Picked up by Caleb, though. Chips this one up the wall. Gets it down into the girls' end. Sent back out into the neutral zone. Girls get control. Back they come down the near side. They work it over to this side. Get a shot off right into the glove of Sam, though. Bouncing puck. And he's able to hold on to that one. Get it covered up, and we'll get a face-off on the near side here of the boys' end. About 9 seconds to play here in the first period. Shots in favor of the girls, 10-4. The boys lead on the scoreboard, 2-0. Face off one back by the boys, picked up by Caleb in the corner. Dumps it over to the far side of it, picked up by Carter Hengschlaven. He'll skate this one forward. Try to feed it up to Grady, but that's the end of the first period, a 2-0 lead for the boys. Both teams will talk this over real quick. We're going to take just a quick little break. Got to talk to a couple people, and then we'll be right back as we get ready for the second period. All right, here we go. Second period about to get underway. It'll be Albert to take the face-off here for the boys. Out there with Soren and Eli. Girls win it back, but stolen away by Eli here. Brings it in, trying to get around the defense. Nicely defended there by the defenseman for girls. And a better save there by the goaltender. She holds on to that one. We're going to face off here on the far side of the girls' end. Just 10 seconds into the second period, boys. Threatening there. That one's pushed forward by Albert, trying to get a shot off his own face-off win. Stuff attempt, goes over to the far side. Eli had a chance at it, but hit the side of the net. Battle for it in the corner. Girls trying to steal this one away. Boys in there as well. Sent towards the net there by Teeny. Goes off a couple different players. Soren steals this one away. Along the wall, tries to feed out front. Girls will get control as they go behind their own net. They'll ring it around back to this side. Soren lost an edge there, and girls will get control and skate this one out. Through the middle. A little bit off the mark. Jace gets control, sends it up the wall. Trying to get this one up to Albert. Girls snuff that out. Battle for it along the boards as they send it over to the near side. Girls will just dump this one down in. A couple will go for a change. Looks like the whole squad will go for a change except for one defenseman here. Jace skates this one. Goes off at Eli. Girls keep it in the zone. Teeny defending for the boys team. She sends it up the wall. Gets it out to the point. Girls are able to keep that one in. Jace dumps this one down, gets out to the blue line. Girls are forced to dump it back in, but take the offsides. We're going to face off here right in front of the girls' bench on the far side. It looks like it'll be Macklin up there with Barron and Tucker. Carter and Caleb on defense. Sent into the zone. Knocked down by Caleb, sends it up the wall, gets it to Barron, jumped over his stick. Girls able to keep it in. Trying to work this one out front, kick down below the goal line. Girls will pick it up, stuff attempt. Went off the side of the net. Looks like Caleb will get control. He'll skate this one forward, sends it up to Tucker, off of his stick. Girls get control again at center ice. Dump back down. Girls bring it into the zone down the right side. They cut it to the middle in the high slot. Shuts it on, goes wide. Knocked away by Carter Hengschleiben. Puck almost came right out in front, but Macklin able to get it, sends it up the wall and out into the neutral zone. The girls able to get on that first. Macklin follows it up, chips this one down into the girls' end. Girls have control. They bring it around behind the net. Tucker slides down in the corner. Overskated that one a little bit. Girls trying to work it up and out. Macklin able to keep it in, but the girls now will get control and skate this one out with some speed down the far side. Dump down in. Girls will go for a change. Caleb Jacoby picks it up behind his own net. Brings it up the wall. Comes out to the point. Kept in. Dump back down low. Girls putting some pressure on here again. Trying to steal it away behind the net. Carter Hengschleiben able to feed this one up. Gets it to Tucker. Tucker trying to make a move. Lost the puck, but dumps it down into the zone. Chased down by Barron. Battle for it in the corner here. Barron slips away from a couple of different girls' defenders. Goes behind his own net. Tried to center that one to Macklin, but it went off the skate. Girls get control. They'll dump this one up the far side. Caleb Jacoby's able to keep it in. Girls have control again, though, as they send this one out. Gets it out to the blue line. Tucker has to hold up there to stay on side. Battle for it along the boards. A little bit of pushing and shoving. Sent across there by Jace, knocked down by a girls player. She works out of the corner. Lost an edge, but sends a nice backhand pass out to her fellow winger. Set up the wall here, or skated up the wall, I should say, by Caleb Jacoby as he carves through the defense. Lost it at the blue line, though. Girls able to clear the zone right away. The boys steal that right back at the center ice dot and bring it back into the zone. Girls clear that out once again. Macklin sends it up the wall. Tucker going for a change, but was offsides as they dumped it in, and we'll get a face-off here right in front of the boys' bench. 11 minutes and 3 seconds to go, second period. Boys leading this one 2-0, being outshot 10-5 by the girls, though. This one's picked up by Grady. Skates this one forward. Gets a shot on, goes wide of the net. Picked up by Porter behind the net. Tried to stuff that one out or make a pass up front. Went off a defender's skate. Grady tries to steal that one away. Girls are able to send it up the wall. It's out to the point, but Teeny wasn't able to keep that one in. We'll get an offsides and a face-off right here in front of us. Just outside the girls' end. There'll be Porter out there with Grady and Evan. Teeny and Jace on defense. One back by the girls. Picked up by the defenseman. Skates this one up. Sends it through the middle. Teeny will stop this one just inside the zone. Gets control of it up to Grady. Grady chips it up, gets it to Porter. Porter pushes it forward. Here's a race for it. Girls trying to get control. Porter will pick it up. Shots it on. Goaltender makes the save. Grady gets it back, turns, fires, sends that one wide. Girls will get it first along the boards. They send it to the middle, but Grady's able to keep that in. At the point, the girls will get it out. Here's an opportunity. One-on-one, working on Jace. Nice job by Jace, knocks it away, but the girls stay with it. Try to send one towards the net, but Jace will pick it up. Sends this one up the far side wall as the girls come out on a fresh change there. We're able to keep it in, but Jace able to chip that one up the wall. Gets this one to Porter. Porter down the left side. Puts on the brakes. Works it to the middle. Backhands one, trying to get that one over to Evan. Puck loose in the high slot. Picked up by the girls here. Comes out to the point. Teeny tried to keep that one in, but a girl stick out there just in time to slip it by. Now stolen away from Porter here. Teeny does a nice job to step up and knock that puck away. Teeny at the blue line, pushes it forward, back out to the red line. A little back and forth here along the wall. It comes down into the boys' end. Jace comes over, sends one off the ref's ankle. You can see him wincing a little bit there. Girls working down low. Sent off the side of the net. Sam trying to get this one covered up. Finally does. We'll get a face-off here down in the boys' end. 9:13 to go here in the second period. A 2-0 lead for the boys. Shot advantage for the girls still 11-6. As Albert comes out to take the face-off out there with Eli and Soren. Caleb and Carter on defense. Sent back to the point. Shot sent on. Stopped there by Albert. Second attempt by the girls. Trying to stuff this one in. Ends up going into the far side corner. Caleb comes over to try to steal it away. The girls are pretty aggressive along the boards there. Hitting bodies against the wall pretty good. But Albert gets this one free. He'll skate this one forward. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Albert works it to the outside. Tries to backhand one out front. Girls able to stop that attempt. They send it up the wall. Soren come over to try to stop that, but girls are able to chip it out to the blue line, but not out. Soren down the left side. That out to the middle to Albert. Slips around one defender. Shots it on. Goaltender makes the save. Puck still loose. Gets it covered up, but whistle was blowing. No goal there. It should be no goal as the ref. Oh, no goal there. Ref blew his whistle. I think the puck might have been loose, but he blew the whistle before. So no matter what, the play stops right there. So good call there by the refs. Keeps this one 2-0. There's a shot sent on by Eli. Got tipped up and out of the way. Eli with the puck in the corner. Tried to send that on front. Girls were able to steal that one away. And they chip this one up the wall. Comes out to the point, but sent back in earlier there by Carter. And we'll get a face-off just outside of the girls' end here. Aviator sending out some fresh forwards, leaving the defenseman out there. It'll be Macklin taking the face-off between Tucker and Barron. Girls get control off the face-off. Skate this one forward down the right side. In the corner. Carter's trying to steal it away. Comes out to the point. Girls able to keep it in. Right onto the stick of Macklin. He'll send this one up the wall, but not out. They're able to dump it back down into the corner where it comes to Carter. Carter sends it up the wall again. Chipped out into the neutral zone. Girls will get on this one first. Sent up the near side wall. Tucker in there battling, trying to steal that one away. Gets shoved off the puck. The girls will get control, and they'll ring it around to the far side. Over to Macklin. Macklin, the shot attempt gets blocked. Girls come over trying to get this one up to the blue line, but Caleb steps up and keeps it in. Girls send it up the wall again, out to the blue line. Caleb has it pinned against the wall. Macklin comes over to help out. Now Barron, but the girls are able to chip this one out in the neutral zone. Or it comes to Carter. Carter sends it over to Tucker. Brought into the zone. He feeds one to the middle, gets it to Barron. Over to Macklin. Macklin on the outside takes a shot. Goaltender makes this save. Big rebound there, but cleared up by the defenseman. Shot sent back in there by Carter. Goaltender had to kick that one into the corner. Bad pass attempt there by Tucker. The girls are able to get control. They'll get this one up to the blue line. It looks like it'll come out in the neutral zone. Dumped down in by the girls. Opportunity here for them as they get behind the defense a little bit. Backhand towards the front of the net. Sam misplayed that one. Puck loose out front. Shot sent on. Cleared out of there just barely by Caleb before another girl's stick came in there to bat that one in. And Caleb brings it right back down the left side. Sends one towards the net. Goes wide. Brings around to the far side corner. Set up the wall, but goes off of Macklin's legs there. Macklin gets control. Trying to feed one over. Girls doing a really nice job of defending when it gets close down by their net here. Picked up by Tucker. Tried to feed one over to Barron. Now over to Jace. Shot sent on. Just beats the goaltender over the glove and ends up in the back of the net. A 3-0 lead here for the boys with about 6:02 to play in the second period. So it'll be Porter, Grady, and Evan out there as forwards. Jace, our goal scorer, and Teeny out there on defense. One back by the girls. They skate this one forward down the right side. Pushes one towards the net. That one's knocked away by Jace. Into the corner. Knocked away by Jace again, but pinballing around here. Girls with a little more speed. Fire in the offensive zone as they steal that one away from Sam before he can cover it up. Puck comes out front, but gets cleared out by the boys real quickly. Down behind the net. Sent off to Sam's pads. Girls trying to get control here, but it looks like it'll be Evan. They steal it back for a second, but cleared out there by Jace. Goes off the defenseman for the girls as they retreat back down into their own end. Go behind their own net. Takes a look, sends one up the wall, jumps over Grady's stick, comes out in the neutral zone. Gets this one down to the boys' end. Putting the pressure on Jace there. They'll get control. As they work this one out of the corner, they send one out front. But Jace did a nice job of defending there with his feet. Gets it up to Porter, and Porter will skate this one through the neutral zone. Down the right side, trying to get around the defenseman. Good chase down there by a couple of the girls. They were able to steal the puck away. Down goes one of the girls. Should have been a slew foot there on Grady, unfortunately. Don't think he tried to, but would have been the right call. Out to the point, picked up by Grady down the left side. Takes a look, try to feed one out there to Evan. Went off of a girl's stick or leg and ended up getting it out into the neutral zone. Porter trying to dig this one loose. Looks like he'll skate it out to center ice, but it's number 2 for the girls. Lots of speed and tenacity. She's able to steal the puck away from the boys. As you see there, just shoving them up. Not afraid of these bigger boys. Some of them aren't, but some of them are. But she doesn't care. Porter trying to steal this one back. Girls send one through the middle. That'll come loose over to Evan on the far side. Sent into the zone. Girls get control. Stolen away by Grady, but stolen right back by the girls, and back they come. 2-on-2, 3-on-2 if they hurry. They go around the outside. Feed this one up front. Back door, sent off the pipe. What a setup there by the girls. Wide open net to shoot at. Just unfortunately caught the pipe and stayed out of the net as Albert feeds that one up the wall. Gets it over to Porter. Porter brought into the zone. Spins away from Munchak. Hands it off to Soren. Soren gets knocked down. Girls take the puck, go back. Albert trying to hook this up. There's a hook. Penalty coming to the boys. The girls stay with it. They bring it down in the zone. They'll have a man advantage here. As the boys touch it, we get a hooking call here on Albert. He'll head to the box for a minute 30, and we'll get a face-off down in the boys' end. So 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the second period. 3-0 lead for the boys. Shot advantage to the girls, though, 15-10, and they'll go on the power play here. Try to get one in the back of the net. There's that little number 2, wins the faceoff. Clear back, shot sent towards the net. Opportunity for back of the net. And a power play goal here for the girls. They strike just 5 seconds in. That little number 2 finds her way to the net. Puck somehow comes rolling into her, and she's able to get a backhand off. Sam got part of it, but she finds it, and it finds its way into the back of the net. That's a 3-1 hockey game. So Albert will take the face off, one cleanly back by the girls again. Sent back down into the boys' end, picked up by Caleb. He'll go behind his own net. Sends it up the wall, gets it up to Soren. Out to neutral ice. Through Albert's legs, brought into the zone here. Albert somehow gets through the defense. Girls did a nice job to get back, though, forcing Albert into a shot he probably didn't want. Sends that one up and over the net. This one sent up the wall, picked up by Caleb. Works it to the middle, spins away. Down the wall, girls able to steal that one away. They send it to the middle here. Backhanded over out into the neutral zone. Dumped all the way down now. Won't go for icing as Eli will be able to get there. Girls going for a change. Eli picks it up as he goes behind his net, but lost the puck in the slot. Shot sent on, gets blocked by Carter. Picked up by Eli. Feeds this one out in the neutral zone where it's picked up by Albert. Down the right side with some speed. Towards the net. Shot sent on, gets partially blocked, ends up going behind the net. Caleb sends one off of Albert there. It looked like it hit him in the neck maybe. It comes out to the blue line. Soren has to let it come out in the neutral zone. Now dumps it back down in. A couple of aviators going for a change. Excuse me, a couple of boys going for the change. The girls send this one up the wall. Out into the neutral zone. Jay sends it through the middle, but it has pocket pick there, and the girls blow right through the defense. Arm goes up. Girls still with the puck, though. Shot sent on back of the net. 3-2 game here as the girls come storming back. Cut this lead down to 1. Well, this is going to be a tripping call on Jace there. But the girls just in waves don't stop. And they were able to get behind the defense and beat Sam in the back of the net. It's a 1-goal hockey game here with 1:36 to play in the second period. Girls out shooting the boys 17-10. So no penalty to be called on the boys since they gave up a goal. We'll stay 5-on-5. Referees just figuring out scoring or something. But either way, here we go. Face off, one back to the girls again. Brought forward into the zone. Chase tries to clear it out. He will do that. Tucker trying to get behind the defense here. Overskated that one a little bit. Girls have got control. Tucker upset that he didn't get that one. He would have been pretty much free and clear in on a breakaway, but girls do a nice job as they come right back down the right side. Shot sent on. Sam makes the save. Holds on to that one. Covers it up. We'll get a face off here on the near side with 1:08 to play in the second period. 3-2 lead for the boys. Boys had a 3-0 lead just a few moments ago, but the girls able to strike back with a couple of their own and cut this down to 1. The girls win the face-off. Back to the point. Shot sent on through traffic. Glove down by Sam. Will reset and do that one again. It'd be Macklin to take the face-off out there with Tucker and Barron. Let's see Jace and Teeny on defense. Girls win this one back. Shot sent towards the net. Bouncing puck wide open all front again. Shot sent on. Sam makes the save. Tucker picks it up. Had it stolen away from him. Girls with control in the corner. They send one towards the net. Steal this one away in the corner. Sent up the wall by Jace out to the point. Not out as of yet. They're able to keep it in. Nice little move there. They get around the defense. Down in alone on Sam again, but a nice job by Teeny recovering. Knocks that one away. Girls go D to D. Tucker trying to steal that one away. It'll be Barron that gets control of it. Girls trying to steal it back. They will. Teeny gets it. She sends it down the wall. Goes off a couple players. Comes centering. Here comes the center ice, I guess. It's picked up by Tucker here. Lost the handle on that one. Girls with control. About 9 seconds to go. They bring it in the zone, but they go just off sides. And we're going to face off here just outside the zone with about 6 seconds to play. It'll be Porter's line coming out for the boys. It'll be Grady and Evan with him. Jason Teeny still on defense. Tied up at the dot here. Grady gets control, skates it down in. But that is it for this second period of 3-2 hockey game. Boys in the lead by 1. They were up 3-0, but girls finding that extra gear there in the end of the second period and getting a couple of their own. Only down 1 right now with 15 to play. Both teams going to talk this one over quick. I'm going to step away for just a moment. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. This should be a fun, exciting end to the final game of the year. All right, here we go. Third period action, ready to get underway. 15 minutes to go. Girls get control off the face-off here. Stolen away by Heaven as it comes down into his end. The girls not allowing that breakout pass. They'll push it down the wall. Sent out front, tipped just wide there by the girls. They'll feed this one out to the point. Sent back down the wall. Grady will get control for the boys. He'll send this one all the way down. That'll be an icing call on the boys. We'll head back down into the into the boys' end for a face-off. It'll be Porter taking a face-off here for the boys. Caleb and Carter on defense. Evan and Grady out there with Porter. Girls win this one back, but clean as they split the D. It comes all the way down, back down into their own end. Sent up the wall. Boys trying to keep this one in, but it slips by all 3 of them. Back come the girls. 2-on-2. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Down the left side. Gets around the defense. Shots it on. Sam makes the save. That was at number 2 again. Stuff attempt. She couldn't quite get that one out. Gets knocked down along the side of the net here, but it looks like Caleb will dig it loose for the boys. Girls putting the pressure on them behind the net there, though. Carter works one out front. Comes down the ice. Passes it forward. Gets up to Grady. Grady into the zone down the left side. A couple of the boys headed towards the net, but a nice defending there by the girls. Stolen away by Porter. Centering pass. Over in the corner here, tied up. A couple of boys, a couple of girls in there trying to dig this one out. No. Send up the sidewall. Out to the point. Carter's able to keep it in. Sends that one off his skate. Comes over to the near side. Girls send it up the wall. They'll get control. They'll work this one out into the neutral zone. They'll get it over the red line. Dump this one in. They say no ice. Picked up by Carter. Goes behind his own net. Carter with it. Some speed down the near side. Trying to get through the girls. All the way down. Working his way towards the front of the net. Fed it up front, but nobody home there. Soren and Eli were trying to get there. Eli takes it away in the corner. Sends it off the side of the net, works out front, try to get to Soren, but went right between his legs and comes out. Girls get control. They'll chip this one through the middle. Teeny does a nice job to step up, stop that play. But girls get control again, bring it into the zone. Send it to the middle. Shot sent on, goes off of Jace's stick. And Sam gets a glove on it, holds on. We'll get a face-off down here in the boys' end. 12:31 to play, third period. It'll be Albert to take the face-off for the boys out there with Eli and Soren. Teeny and Caleb on defense. Face-off one back by the girls. They feed it back to the point. Shot sent on, gets tipped out front. Here's another opportunity. Sam makes the save on that one. Sent up the wall a little bit too far for Soren. Girls take another shot. That one's blocked by Jace. Shot sent on, saved there by Sam. A little number 2 just being a pest down there. Getting to the pucks, finding their way behind the defense, getting shots on. I wouldn't be surprised if the girls tie this up here real soon, maybe even on this shift. Macklin comes up to take the face-off out there with Tucker and Porter. The girls win it back again, out to the point. Shot sent on, whiffed on there a little bit, sent through the middle. Girls will chase this down in their own end. Send up the wall. Girls with control. They bring it down into the Aviators' end, into the boys' end. Down the right side, shot sent on, big kick out rebound there. Jace clears it out of the way. Girls trying to get control. Centering pass there gets stopped by Jace. He feeds it up, gets it to Barron. Stolen away by the girls at center ice, so. Macklin trying to steal it back. Teeny follows it up. She dumps it down into the girls' end. Picked up by the girls' defense. They work it up the far side wall. Trying to get that one out to the blue line. They'll be able to chip it out into the neutral zone where it comes right to Macklin. Macklin takes a look. Sends it up the wall. Gets it to Tucker. Girls steal that one away. Push it towards that boys' bench. Defenseman steps up for the girls here and skates right down the middle. Cuts it to the middle, gets a shot off. Went off of Jace's skates. Sends one towards the net. Puck loose. Looks like it finally gets covered up by Sam there, and we'll get a face-off down in the boys' end. Over on the far side there. The boys will send out some fresh legs here. Looks like it'll be Porter's line coming out with Grady and Evan. Caleb and Carter on defense. One back by the girls again to the point. Walks this one in, sends a shot towards the net, knocked away by Caleb there. Girls able to keep it down low. Comes loose to Carter, feeds one through the middle, gets it up to Evan. Evan trying to get a handle on this, but it comes over to Porter. Porter skates it out into center ice, gets through a couple of different defenders at the blue line, kept in by Grady. Girls are able to get control. They'll feed this one through the middle, and back they come, 2-on-2. Working into the zone down the right side, trying to get around Carter. Down into the corner. Centering pass comes right out front, hooked up out front there. Caleb might have got away with one there. Porter feeds it through the middle. Knocked down by Porter. Porter trying to get through the defense here, works it to the outside. Nifty little stick handling there. But cleared out into the neutral zone by the girls. Dumped back in, but way too early. I would expect this one to maybe come to center ice. No, it looks like we'll put it right in front of the girls' bench. As we got 10 minutes, 11 seconds to go here. Third period, a 3-2 lead for the boys. Girls out shooting the boys 25-10. Face off one back by the boys. Comes to Jace, sends it up the wall, gets it over to Barron. Barron trying to center that one to Albert. Girls steal it away. They'll dump it over to the far side. Soren able to keep that one in as Teeny sends it down into the corner. Send up the wall. Girls trying to get this one out. Albert steals it away, but the girls get there in time and able to dump it out into center ice. But a quick offsides there. Boys, we're going to face off right down here in front of us. One back by the girls. They stretch it to the far side. Trying to get around Teeny. Dumps it down below the goal line. Jace will chase after it. Girls get there first, try to send it out front. They push this one up along the side of Sam. He likes to just cover it up. We're going to face off down on the boys' end. Girls sending out some fresh forwards here. Boys will keep the current line out there. It has Albert, looks like Barron and Soren. One back by the girls at the point. Whiffed on there. Dumps it down in the corner, though. Jace gets on it for the boys. Sends it up the wall. Gets it to Albert. Albert trying to send one through the middle. Girls able to keep it in for a second there, but boys cleared out at center ice. Back comes Barron down into the corner. Girls will get on this one first. They send it up the wall. Stolen away by Albert along the boards, but tied up. Soren in there trying to dig it out. It'll be the girls that get control. They skate this one through center ice, down the right side, trying to get around Teeny. Centering pass goes up and over Sam's head to the near side. Stolen away by Caleb as he goes behind his own net. Girls trying to get this one back. Centering pass goes from Teeny to Barron. Barron will skate this one out into center ice down the near side. Gets around one defender, comes over to Soren. Soren turns, fires one on net. Goaltender makes the save, holds on. We're going to face off. Face off coming here on the near side of the girls' end. Both teams sending out some fresh legs here as Macklin's line comes out for the boys. Grady and Tucker out there with Macklin. It'll be Caleb and Carter on defense. Grady out of the corner, sends it up to the point, comes to Caleb. Caleb sends it down the wall, but the girls steal it away. They send this one down the ice. Picked up by Carter in his own zone, goes behind his own net, puts on the brakes. The boys get this one up and out of the zone. Comes over to Tucker on the far side, feeds it back over to Grady. Grady tries to get through the defense, sends one towards the goaltender. It went up and off the mask of the goaltender and finds its way into the back of the net. And the boys extend their lead back to 2 as it's a 4-2 game here with 7:57 to play in the third period. Macklin will take the face off here for the boys. One back by the boys, but the girls get control. Brought into the boys' end here. Girls trying to keep it in the zone, but it'll come out into center ice. Grady trying to steal that one away, but the girls will skate this one forward down the right side. Brought into the zone, tripped up there a little bit. Shot sent on. Sam makes the save, holds on. We'll get a face off down here in the boys' end. With 7.5 minutes to play in the third. Porter's line comes out for the boys. Out there with Albert and Evan. Sent back to the point. Nice clean win by the girls. Shot sent on. Gets tipped. Goes just wide. Picked up by Chase behind his own net. Backhands went over to the other side. Teeny will grab this for the boys' team. Sent back in, though, by the defenseman for the girls, but stopped there by Teeny. Picked up by Albert. Skates this one out. Works it to the outside here. Had it knocked off of his stick. Good poke check at the blue line there. As Evan dumps this one down into the girls' end. They'll get on first. They send it up. Kind of pinballing around here. Teeny pushes it back down. Now the girls skate this one out into the neutral zone. Down the left side. Trying to get around Jace with some speed. Backhanded sent on, but glove down by Sam there. And we'll get a face off on this near side down on the boys' end. With 6 minutes and 46 seconds to play here. 4-2 lead for the boys. Girls out shooting the boys 28-12. Nice clean win back by the girls. Shot sent on through traffic. Puck was loose. They find the back of the net, but whistle had blown. Sam thought he had that in his stomach, but it leaked out the side. The girls poked it away right away, but just as we had the other way earlier, A whistle had blown, so another clean face-off win there. Shot sent back door. They had players there. They were really good on that face-off, winning back to the D. D works it over. Shot sent on. 2 players get to the net right away. One back again. Stolen away this time by Albert. Breaks up that play. He'll work his speed down the far side. Gets tripped up a little bit. Porter follows it up. Porter trying to get control of this one in the corner. The girls do a nice job of stealing that away, and it puts on a pretty good check, too. Evan backhands one. Goes off somebody out front. Never made it to the goaltender. Girls with control in the corner. Feeds this one forward. Teeny's able to keep it in. Girls get it right back, though, and the backhand one out into center ice. Teeny sends one off the far side wall. Gets it to Porter as he enters the zone. Overskated that one a little bit, and girls work this one out. Girls with control. Trying to dump this one in. Soren trying to defend there, but the girls able to get in. Now it's back out in the neutral zone. But dumped right back down in by the girls. Down below the goal line. Jace gets there for the boys. Sends it up the wall, out to the point, but not out. Girls able to send it over into open space in the far side of the zone. Down goes Soren. Arm goes up. Penalty coming here to the girls as Porter tries to get in the zone. The girls do a nice job of defending. And we'll get a tripping call here on the girls. And a face-off back down in their end. As the boys will go on the power play here for the next minute 30. 5:23 to go in the third period. A 4-2 lead for the boys. 29-12 shot advantage for the girls. They dump this one down in the corner. They get on it first here on the penalty kill. Picked up by the girls, so they work it out into the neutral zone. Carter picks it up. Brings it right back in. Gets knocked off the puck there. The Baron steals it back for the boys as the girls knock him down. Possession changes back and forth here as Carter dumps this one down below the goal line. Picked up by Macklin. Stuff attempt there. Girls get control behind their own net. They send it up the wall. Backhanded out. Comes out to the point. Caleb takes a shot. That one was bounced on him. Another opportunity for Macklin gets sent wide. There's Soren trying to feed it over to Macklin. Cleared out of the way by the defense of the girls. Shots in on there by Carter. Goes well wide. Stuff attempt. Buck in the blue paint, but covered up here by the goaltender. And we'll get a face-off here, far side of the girls' end. 34 seconds to go on the power play here for the boys. Grady to take the face-off. Tucker sends it out to the point for Caleb. Caleb's shot. Stopped there by the defense. Eli gets knocked down. Grady digs it off the wall. Feeds over to the far side. Gets to Tucker. Tucker shots it on. Hits the side of the net. Tucker trying to steal it away in the corner here, as well as Eli. The girl's able to get it out to the point. Eli finally steals it away at center ice. Works it back towards the blue line, but the girl's able to clear that right out again. They're back to full strength as we're back 5-on-5 here as Caleb brings it in down the right side. Caleb trying to work it out of the corner, gets knocked down. Centering pass. Great to steal that one away. Comes loose down to the goaltender. Tucker trying to poke at that one, but the goaltender is able to cover it up. We'll get a face-off down in the girls' end here with 3 minutes, 34 seconds to go, third period. 4-2 lead here for the boys. Girls absolutely dominating in the shot department, though, 29-15. Send over to Albert in the slot, try to get a shot on. Goaltender makes a big save there. Puck ends up going behind the net. Boys trying to dig this loose. Girls able to push it over to the far side. Porter in there trying to steal it back, but girls will get control. They send it up the wall. Albert steals that away for a second. Out to the blue line, not out. Albert has control. Sends one down the middle. Stolen away by the girls. They'll work this one out into the neutral zone. Number 17 is pretty shifty, too. Trying to carve through the defense here. Sent out to center ice. Porter trying to chase it down. Girls are able to recover, though. Tied up along the wall. Porter has control of it, though. Sticking through a few girls. Takes a shot, sends one off the side of the net. Evan will grab it. Chips it back over to Porter. Girls will send this one up the wall. Albert will try to beat them there. Looks like he will. Pushes it back down the wall. Girls send it back up to the point. Teeny keeps it in. Sends a shot towards the net, but stopped there by the defense. Girls work it back out in the neutral zone. Jay sends it back up the wall, gets it to Porter. Girls in the midst of a change. Porter takes a shot. It goes off the defender. Picked up by the girls. Sent in back down low by Jace. Gets it to Porter, but off of his stick. Girls are going to try to get control, and they will. And they'll skate this one up and out of the zone. They chip and try to go around Jace, but he wasn't fooled on that one. Jace gets it back again at the red line. Skates it forward, brings it in the zone, far side. Backhands one down the corner. Stays at his defensive spot. Barron goes in after it. Sent up the wall. Girls try to chip this one out. Teeny was able to keep it in. Now Soren pushes it down in the corner. Porter comes down to try to steal that one away. Backhanded up the wall. Girls will get control, but they'll send this one around behind their own net. Push forward. Overskated a bit. Here's an opportunity for the boys as Barron turns it back down the high slot, but nice job of defending there. And the girls turn it right back. The chip and go around Carter down into the right-hand corner. Centering pass goes off the side net. Sam was able to glove that one. Holds on. And we'll get a face-off down here in the boys' end with 1:14 to play. 2-goal deficit here for the girls. They're going to call a timeout and discuss what they want to do here for the next 1:15 or so. Looks like the goalie will be pulled. They'll go 6-on-5, empty net. They're going to try to put the pressure on here. Need to get a couple goals here to tie it up. They've been out playing the boys for some stretches of the game. Getting solid shots on net. Just haven't been able to get in there and clean up some of the rebounds that they created off the initial shot. But the boys are doing a good job of that, clearing out that any rebounds or whatever after the initial shot. But with that extra person, if they can get someone to the net, could have an opportunity here to clean up some rebounds, maybe sneak one in, make it a 1-goal game, and then get back to work again, but they only have about 1:14 to do it in. Both their goals earlier came in not much longer than 1:14 though, so we know they can do it. Couldn't have been much more than 2 minutes. It'll be 6-on-5 here. Macklin to take the face-off for the boys. Out there with Barron and Soren. Face-off won by the boys. Picked up by Barron. Out to the point, but kept in by the girl. They dump it down low into the corner. Caleb gets on it for the boys, rings it around to the far side. This one's going to come out to the point. Soren's able to chip it out. That'll kill some valuable time. Girls get on it first, so they send it up the wall. Now they dump it down. Picked up by Carter inside of his own zone. Gets swallowed up there. The girls had control of it for a second. Carter tries to chip it out. Comes out to the blue line, but kept in. Now it comes out to Barron. Sent through the middle. This one sent all the way down. Going to go just wide. That'll be an icing call on the boys. We'll head back down into their end for a face-off. About 35 seconds to go here, but a 2-goal lead for the boys. Might be too much here, even with the goalie pulled. They will have to win this face-off. They got at number 2 out there. Looks like they're going to have her set up right behind. Oh, no, she will take the face-off. She's won pretty much every face-off she's taken, including that one. They feed it to the middle. Shot attempt, gets blocked, picked up by Teeny. Teeny's going to skate it forward. She pushes one towards the net. That one ends up in the back of the net. Teeny Bollock gets on the scoreboard, makes it 5-2. And that will probably do it. 26.5 seconds left. A 3-goal lead here for the boys. Pretty fun game to watch here. we'll get a face-off at center ice. This one pushed forward by the boys, brought in by Eli down the right side, feeds it over, trying to get that one to Grady. Stopped by the girls' defense zone, back to Kump. Over center ice, brought into the zone down the left side. Centering pass. Gets knocked away by Jace. Another attempt, gets pushed towards the net, but stopped by Teeny. That one will be cleared out in the zone. That'll pretty much do it as we got about 2 seconds left to go. Send back into the zone. And a 5-2 victory here for the boys, but a fun game to watch between these two teams, which I know for the boys was their last game of the season. I'm guessing the same for the girls. So hopefully all the kids had a fun season. It seems like a long season at parts of the year, but you get to this point of the year, it's like, where did it go? Like, it feels like it just started. So that's it for this hockey season. It's been a fun one, all the different games that we covered and got to watch this year and the ups and downs of all the teams, including this one. But that'll do it for this hockey season. I'm sure some of these kids moving on to golf or baseball, or maybe some of them are just moving on to play some more hockey in a week or two. I'm sure that's probably happening as well. But either way, it's been a blast covering all these games and providing you guys with something to watch. Getting to enjoy your favorite little hockey player from time to time. But as always, we appreciate you joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time.